Good morning, dear students. This video is made for the better understanding of the poem Wind, written by Chinnaswamy Subramania Bharati, also known as Bhartiyar, who was a Tamil writer, poet, and journalist, and an Indian independence activist and social reformer from Tamil Nadu. Popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati, he was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil literary figures of all times. The poem Wind inspires us to face the challenges thrown at us with grit and firm determination. We should be strong enough to face all the hardships of life with courage. Wind symbolizes problems and obstacles that we all face and go through at some point of time in our lives. The poem is a satire on human weakness and the power of the strong humans. In this poem, the poet also states that wind is a god who winnows or segregates the weak people from the strong. Now let's try to understand the literary devices being used in the poem. The first one is metaphor. The entire poem is a metaphor because it ends on a note of application to humanity and to stand against all ravages, natural or man-made. And most importantly, wind in itself is a metaphor to that of the hardships being faced by people in this life. Also, in the same line, where in line number 12, it's written as the wind god winnows. Winnows is a metaphor for separating the weak from the strong. The other poetic device used in abundance is personification, as the wind is personified throughout the poem. Some of the instances are from line 5 to 8, where the poet is talking to the wind, gently admonishing it, just like to a human being. In lines 12 and 13, where the wind is personified as a god. In line 18, where the wind is personified as a friend, and also the same applies in line number 20. In line number 21, where the wind is personified as a human, and in line number 22, where he says, "We praise him every day." In this line, the poet has actually personified wind as a god. Also, there is the usage of apostrophe in the very first line of the poem. Wind, come softly. Here the poet is addressing the wind directly, which is a non-visible entity. Apart from this, there is also the usage of anaphora, which means the repetition of the same word in successive lines. Some of the instances are in line number 2, 3, 4, where there is a repetition of don't. In lines 6, 7, 8, where there is a repetition of you. Lines 9, 10, 11, repetition of crumbling. And lines 14 and 15, where there is a repetition of let's. Students, you should also know that the poem has been written in free verse. Hope it will help you. Thank you.